But anyway, those are the kids. And Merc, he's basically the kind of the wimp of the group. He's the one that's always getting beat up. And actually, Kimmy has kind of, beat up the boys for beating up Merca. So, but although, Merca isn't, a lot of people don't think he's all there as well. So, there you go. That's a little bit of information. You also found out that there could have been somebody else that had seen the children as well. And this is actually some information that Kadoja had found out while he was talking to one of the market traders with his he had a little bit better of a role. So you found out that there's possibly some tree-hugging druid that had actually seen the kids as well, and he's shacked up in Jack-a-Naps Inn. So you may be able to find out some kind of information that way. Also, a couple kids that were pretty much with the kids as well the day that, the last day that they were seen. These were a couple kids that actually had to come back, and they were talking about something going somewhere in the woods. That's all they were talking about. That's what the kids that you were talking to. So everything is kind of vague at this point.
I want to go to the individual parents and find out if they know of any little hangout or some sort of secret spots, using air quotes here, secret spots these kids might go to, or if they are friends at all.
Ditto.
All of the parents, they don't know, they didn't know of any, and plus the places that they usually hung around were in town, especially at the old mill, and especially around the lumber, the lumber places down at the southern part of the town, where they would float the logs in, because the kids would always like to go swimming and stuff down there. So, but they weren't found down there.
Okay then. So I suggest to the group that we head off to find this this druid, wherever he may be, and get directions from guards.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tree hugger?
The tree hugger.
Yeah. You actually found out that this druid's name is Boktago as well.
Okay then. Try to go and find Boktago.
Yeah, he's at the Jack-a-Naps.
Onward and inward.
Okay.
Let's see. Falcon's Hollow. Jack-a-Naps is
number 7.
Yeah, it's number 7. So it's sort of in the middle of the town, pretty much where the market where the low market squares and everything. And that's where Jack-a-Naps is. And you can see that Jack-a-Naps is the leaning ramshackled inn next to the town stables. Not a very likely place where I would like to visit, especially if it's leaning.
Yeah.
So you go into Jack-a-Naps or Jack-a-Napes, whatever you want to call it, and you meet the owner. I mean, it's such a small place. Everybody you guys have been around for a couple months in this area, so you've kind of gotten to know everyone. I mean, not by name, but you literally know who pretty much everyone is in town. So, because like I said, it's a small place. You want to go where everyone knows your name. So, Jack Kermy, he welcomes you to the Jack-a-Napes and asks if you'll be staying for any time or some amount of time.
No, actually, we are looking for the druid of... shoot, what was his name?
Boktago.
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 Gim. He goes, "Can I get you some cinnamon-crusted flapjacks? They're legendary!" And he kind of laughs as he's got a cigar hanging out of his mouth, flipping a pan of flapjacks.
Sound good to me. Pile it up.
All right, Kiddojo.
So I look around for the druid.
Well, the druid's not. He tells you that he hasn't seen the druid today, but he checked in last night, and he's probably up in his room. And he tells you, whatever room number he's in, and you can go up and speak to him. So, I guess you're going to go up and speak to him then.
Yes.
All right. So, you knock on the door. He answers the door. He's a Boktago is basically a. Oops, 1 second. He's a dwarf, and he's a short little guy. He's about. I thought you were down there eating flapjacks.
I'll carry them with me.
His legendary flapjacks. So he answers the door. He's got a helmet on with antlers on. He's got a big furry bear cloak. This guy looks pretty rugged. He's got a painted face, dark paint. You're thinking, man, what is this guy doing in here? But he answers the door and he asks if he knows you. Do I know you?
No, you do not, kind sir. My name is Wolfswig, wizard by trade.
Oh, you got a druid name. Are you swift like the wind?
I was known for running fast from my youth, but I did have a few druid friends back in my village.
I'm Grizzly. How you doing, tree hugger? How you doing, brother?
What is that?
My companion here with a mouthful of flapjacks is Gim.
He kind of eyes your pancakes a little bit, and he says, "Oh, those are the best flapjacks I've ever had."
Yum yum.
Did Jack cook you those? I'm doing good. What do you need? Who do I know? You guys. What do you guys want?
First of all, I'd like to know what a tree hugger like you doing in a cabin like this.
Well, that's easy because I don't always want to be walling around in the dirt. Sometimes I want to get cleaned up and have a nice bed to rest in once in a while.
Sounds good to me. We're here about these kids are in the neighborhood. Heard they might be hanging around with you, maybe playing around. You might be able to help us out locating them.
Kids, I thought they were found. I thought some adventuring party went and killed a dragon and found him and came back to town, and I thought that's what the celebration was for.
Well, we were the ones to kill the dragons, but we were not with us at the time.
Whoa, what kind of dragon did you kill? Man, I've never even seen one of those before.
My brother's fibbing a little bit. We just chased his ass off.
It was a baby black dragon
Dad.
that chased off.
Blitzwise was having some of his own pile of flapjacks with the chinchilla on his head, and saying I had to take their word on it about the dragon.
Oh, gully guy.
King of
I want to throw up.
What's rock and roll?
What the hell are you talking about, dude?
Never mind.
He just kind of he nudges you
in a
again.
bar somewhere, and all of a sudden this cold chill comes over him that the dwarf is speaking again.
He nudges Gim and says, "Man, those halflings, man, you really got to look out for those guys. What are they talking about?"
Yeah. So, what do you say, brother? They used to hang around, maybe play around your area.
Well, I'm from the forest. I mean, I don't have a home. I just kind of wander around.
Well, you see them playing around out in the woods, don't you?
Oh, you're talking about the kids. I'm sorry, I was eyeing your flapjacks still.
Here, have a couple.
Hey, thanks. He starts eating some of your flapjacks. So he basically tells you that he tells you he was sleeping in a tree, and just here in the vale, and he heard some laughing, some some kids basically heard a lot of giggling and stuff. So he woke up. He wanted to find out, who it was, and he saw these 5 children. Actually, there were several more. Actually, there were 7 or 8 kids, but 2 or 3 of the kids left. But there were still 5 kids there. There were 3 boys and 2 girls, and the only one that he knew of was the Kreed kid. He just the Kreed kid. But the other kids, I just don't know who they were. But I suppose they're from around town here. I don't come into town very often, only get cleaned up and actually have a pretty decent meal. And then he basically goes on to tell you that the kids started goofing around. They were taking their slings, trying to hit the squirrels in the trees, trying to hit a couple hawks, a couple nests. So, being one with the forest, I didn't want to see that happen, so I kind of shooed them off. And the kid, he shooed the kids off of the area that he was in. And the kids, yes.
Can you put on my map where that location is? We're trying to find them, so maybe we can get some tracks, locate them,
Sure, you can open up the Dark Moon Vale handout. Here, let me, I'll show it to you. There we go. There's a Dark Moon Vale hangout, sorry. And he was basically, right where it says Alara's halfway house, up to the north and a little bit to the east. So, I can't ping that portion of the map, but right above the Ian Alaris, about halfway up in the wooded area there, that's where the kids were. So actually, they were quite a ways off from Falcon's Hollow, and the kids were basically. He tells you that the kids were trying to, they were taking their slings, they were trying to hit the squirrels in the trees, some other nests, some falcons, and that's when he stepped in and he kind of chased the kids off. He didn't. He tells you he didn't hurt the kids or anything like that. He really didn't even say a whole lot to them, but he basically just shooed the kids off. And then he goes on to telling you that so I followed them for a little while, and then they started making their way back down south towards Alara's halfway house. Excuse me. And you guys know Alara's halfway house as basically, Alara was a lady that she spent a lot of her life caring for those that nobody wanted. So it was an orphanage. And this orphanage was full of kids that had no parents. And these were basically kids that their parents were killed when the orcs came down from the mountains and from the crags. And, there was a time where Falcon's Hollow and a lot of the other cities, the small little towns and villages around the Vale were attacked. All of the children with nowhere to go, no parents, Alara took them in. So, but you guys know, probably about 2 to 3 months ago, there was a sudden fire that actually claimed the life of her, Alara, and some of the kids as well, and burnt down the entire halfway house. And unfortunately, supposedly it was a lightning storm or something of that nature that actually burnt it down, and it burnt down in the middle of the night. And that's about it. What you know of Alara's, that's just common knowledge stuff. And then Boktago goes on to tell you that while he was following the children, they were heading back down to Alara's halfway house, and they heard the kids talking about they wanted to see if the rumors were true. And these rumors were of basically the burnt down halfway house ruins are supposed to be haunted now. So, kids being kids, and he even says this, kids being kids, they thought it was haunted, so they wanted to camp there at night, and I kind of watched them just in case they didn't set the place on fire or anything again. Which they didn't. They were good. And
Have another flapjack.
thank you. So basically, nightfall came, and all of a sudden he started hearing squeaks and squeals. And some reptilian creatures came out of the bush and took him. And all he knows is that, and all they kept saying was pink, meaty little morsels. And,
That
you know,
doesn't sound good.
Not good. Not good at all.
so he knows that they're kobolds. He tells you they were kobolds. And he thinks they were part of the True Scale tribe, which the True Scale tribe, he's had some run-ins before, where they like to, ransack some of the lumber mills and stuff that are on the eastern and western shores of the river foam. And so he's had run-ins with these before, and he knows that the leader is a kobold named Merlocrep. And he's a one-eye. He's been a, but he's not 100% sure. But they mumbled a couple things about Merlocrep and pinky fleshy morsels, and Merlocrep will like this. So he thinks that they could be taken to Merlocrep's lair. So as the children were taken, now he's getting worried for the kids, and. Then this was just, the night before last. So he's following these kids, and the kobolds actually don't go to their lair. Their old lair is now abandoned. They've actually encroached into the old dwarven monastery, and which is Droskar's Crucible. And it's an old, ancient kingdom, which has been abandoned for years and years and years. And it's a massive complex. Well, this is where the kids were taken, which was totally surprising to Bok, because he thought they were going back to their normal cave. Well, come to find out, he did find out that they are Merlocrep. Their numbers have swelled dramatically, and there's a lot more kobolds now than what their tribe used to be. So that's when he decided to travel back to Falcon. He basically spent a full day traveling back, and he got back to town. He was so exhausted, he wanted to rest for a little bit. He woke up. Then he heard that the dragon was killed, and the party was some heroic adventuring party was back. So he basically thought that he's telling you that he thought that you already rescued the children. And unbeknownst to him, that now he knows that the kids are still there. So now he's starting to feel pretty bad about this.
Well, I was hoping for. I hope that was the case, but it definitely isn't. So I guess we have to go over there and rescue them kids. Thank you very much for your information, brother. Here, I got a couple more left. I'll give you one.
Thanks.
And I give him 5 gold coins for his information time.
Oh, for Bok? Thanks. He appreciates it. Well, he feels like he needs to do something to help. So he offers his services to come along with the group.
Very welcome to join us if you want.
And I'm actually going to tell you this. Boktago, who played Amon Isis's character a couple weeks ago, he's going to play this druid. So he's not able to be here tonight either. Tonight, he was. It was supposed to be a surprise to you guys to take the group to 6 people. So Bok is joining the group as well. He's probably would be here later tonight, but I guess he had some other function to do today. I don't know if he's doing anything with church or anything like that, but anyways, he's going to be joining y'all's group as well. So Bok is literally, I was RPing for him, but he would have done it last night, but we didn't play, Friday night, but we didn't play Friday night. So you guys have a druid in the party as well now. So Just to let you know. So he's going to join you. He feels bad about, the kids, because he kind of thinks it's his fault, because, he came back to town and he was so exhausted he fell asleep, and then he just needed to get a couple hours rest, and he ended up sleeping like an entire day. So now the kids have been gone for 2 days instead of the day that he just traveled back. And now, especially with the kobolds,
kind of like me after an all-nighter.
There you go. And especially with the kids, being called pinky fleshy morsels and everything, it's not looking good for the kids. It just really isn't.
I tell him odds are whoever's in charge of them is smart enough to figure out either he can ransom them off or hold them hostage against the town.
Well, that's an assumption.
Considering one of the children is, I guess, the leader of the town.
Well, Thuldrin Kreed, yeah, he's...
Yeah, richest guy in town, so he might think of trying to
Well, let's hope that's the case. But otherwise, I want to get them kids back.
Agreed.
He even says that we could probably go back to the halfway house because everything happened so quick there. It was at night, and when the kobolds left with the children, he didn't have time to look around for anything. So he doesn't know if there's anything that could help, but he does know where the dwarven monastery is. And I guess it's like he tells you, he guesses the kobolds, that's what they were looking for, that's what they found. So they found Droskar's Crucible. That's where the kobolds are shacked up now. But he thinks that you might... He doesn't know if you're going to be able to find anything at the orphanage, but it would probably be good to go there. That's what Bacchus... He requests that we stop on the way. I mean, because the orphanage is on the way to the monastery, basically.
Sounds like a winner to me.
So, all right.
Indeed.
So, do you guys want to get any last-minute supplies? And Bach also tells you that this is a massive complex, and he and as well, Gim, as well, because you're rich in dwarven lore, dwarven heritage, dwarven history, and you know that this place is huge. Now, there's tales of massive halls, and just this place is a massive complex.
I want to go back to the Vader's tower.
Oh, Darth Vader's tower?
Darth Vader's tower.
Okay.
And check with them to see if they might have any maps of the monastery. It isn't uncommon for such items to be around.
Check for the halfway house, too. Maybe there's something there.
Well, no, I'm just looking for maps of the Dwarven Monastery, of the layout.
Well, might as well get the halfway house while we're at it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go and do that then.
And I'll follow on behind. Good to see you, brother. Hope we talk to each other soon.
I'm not going anywhere, knucklehead. I'm going with you.
Oh, good to hear. Well, hey, well, grab some flapjacks while you're down there.
Oh, for sure.
Munch on them,
He gets a sack of cinnamon crusty flapjacks for the road. So when you get back over to the tower, old Darth Vader, he doesn't have any kind of maps for the Droskar's Craig, because it was sort of like a lost place. But, there's not a lot of dwarves, actually, in Falcon's Hollow. And I think there's only a small percentage. I mean, you can look, actually... there's less than 1% of dwarves in the demographics within Falcon's Hollow. It's mostly human, so... nobody has especially at the tower, they just don't have a map of Droskar's. Now, they do have a little bit more detailed map of the actual Dark Moon Vale, which is the map on the Dark Moon Vale map, and they give you that. So in fact, he doesn't even charge you anything for it. So
when I was talking to Smithy, he wouldn't happen to have been a dwarf, would he?
Let's see. What does it say? That I do not know. We'll say that no. The Smithy is not a dwarf.
Okay.
He's a human.
Sorry to hear that.
I'll just top off all my supplies on my kit, my ammo, and all that.
All right.
Well, I guess it's to the halfway house then.
And before we leave, I tell the captain of the guards where we're going and tell him that apparently there's been a large mass of kobolds recently at the monastery, and should anything go wrong, they may attack the town, so you may want to prepare.
Oh, you tell Kreed this, Thuldrin Kreed?
Yes.
Yeah, he seems he doesn't seem as worried as you would think about his. I'm sure you probably brought up his son as well being missing.
Yeah,
and
got wound.
He just doesn't. He just kind of says, "Oh, good." He doesn't even really seem worried. It kind of sounds sort of dickish on his part. I mean, he goes on to tell you that he does have a small scouting party out trying to look for the children throughout the Vale, but he had no clue that Droskar's Crag had actually been found.
Yes, apparently so. The kobolds moved in.
All right. He says, if you please bring my son back, and I will reward you. And he doesn't give you an amount or anything like that, but he says he will make it worth your while, which kind of seems weird. I mean, why is he not out there? I mean, the big lumber tycoon. You know what I mean? Why is he not out there? Just kind of a little messed up. If that was my child missing, if old Kaboom was gone, I'd be out there. I wouldn't sleep until I found him. So,
I guess I'm gonna roleplay this next part. I kind of ask him, just you don't seem all that concerned about your son. Why is that?
Well, I'm a very busy man. You see, I've got lots of responsibilities, and yes, I know my child is my responsibility. But I also have helpers as well helping me find my child, so that is why. I'm a busy man.
Of course you are.
Time is money, friend.
And then I go to the other parents and tell them that we have a lead.
Nice dirt.
And we shall see what we can do.
Oh, they're all happy to hear.
And I guess I go up to North Gate and wait for everyone, or Sitting Duck Tavern, and wait for everyone to show up.
All right. Amonisis, what are you doing? You've been quiet.
I've been in the tavern just having something to drink, training the ferret for a little while, getting to know it. I figured, since I'm really apparently not paying attention to what's going on.
What are you not paying attention of? I mean, what are you not paying attention about?
Because I rolled a 1 and dropped my brain.
Oh, but you're still there.
Yeah.
Oh, I dropped my brain. Let me get
The
that.
tavern, I'm like, oh, well, whatever. They'll tell me later.
My
Or
pet
just-
had to pick up your brain and carry it back to you.
Enough. Let's go get the kids.
I figure life will be what it always is. And they'll just tell me, go run out there and find out what this is.
If you stop jacking your jaws, we can go on and get taking care of business.
I love it. Stop jacking your jaws.
I look over at the ferret, and the first thing I'm going to teach you is how to bite a dwarf's nuts.
That's what I'm trying to teach Nolan.
If that ferret comes one close, he gone.
I figure while I'm here, I'll grab a couple